REIA, we are number one. Yep. We are number one. Boston REIA is the most effective real estate investing community in New England, and we're the only approved REIA from the national REIA. So this is the real deal. We're number one in deal flow, number one in networking, and number one in education and investor resource. We are the largest trade association for real estate investors in the USA, with massive trade discounts through Home Depot, Protect, Office Depot, Equity Trust, Rent Perfect. Also, we have local business partners that I personally dealt with. Universal Capital, fantastic people. Monteverdi, Legal Shield, Instalend, Leverage. Something fantastic that Duncan and Kelly have done for our members and our members only is quick turn money. If you're working on a deal and you don't have a partner and you need a proof of funds to secure the deal for you, quick turn money will give you up to $500,000 without looking at anything, so you can secure your deal. Also, if you would like to become a preferred vendor, feel free to reach out to Duncan and Kelly, and he will get you squared away. Okay, now we're gonna switch to our market update and what's happening in Boston market. Things has not been really good over the past couple months with everything happening, but now it's again started to pick up. And now we have a new president officially in the office, making decision and making big moves. Interest rates. So this is a daily report that I do. The next slide will be a weekly report that we're going to go over, but the daily one, interest rates just above, just under the 7 for, so 6.84% for 30-year fixed rate loan. The total homes available this year, 2,630, and that's average of 78 days on the market until they got accepted, which puts it to 20% more available homes than same day last year. And last year, as you can see, average days on the market was 87 days. So this year is definitely better. Total homes that went under agreement or contingent in Middlesex, Essex, and Suffolk County, where I mostly work, were 513. Last month was 259, so it's about double, which is great to see. Also, the price change, it has not changed from last month, which is 48 homes, which is excellent comparing to the number of homes, comparing to the numbers of homes that went under agreement and contingent, and the back on market was only 21 homes. I always like to see what Sam Khotter says, who is the chief economist of Freddie Mac. He said mortgage rates get sacked for a loss. The Super Bowl week, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage decreased this week. Mortgage rates have been stable over the last month, and incoming data suggests the economy remains on firm footing. Even though rates are higher compared to last year, the last 2 weeks of purchase applications are modestly above what was seen a year ago, indicating some latent demand in the market. And for the weekly, this is a weekly report. As I said, it also went down than, last month, the weekly report was going up. So this is all great indications that we are seeing. You were able to see those slides, right, Kelly?
No, sweetie. Right now, what we can see is your market update and your picture.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I should have let you know that.
Yeah, because I was trying to switch back. Oh, no. Okay. I usually take it over from Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so share that. Okay, now I know. So that was what I was sharing.
There we go. Yes,
okay.
We can see it now.
All right, so that's what I was sharing earlier. This is a daily report, 684 to 2630 homes, which is 20% more homes than same day last year. 513, contingent and under agreement, price changes 48, and back on market 21. Last month, I was comparing the contingent and under agreement, which was double. So we are seeing movement in the market. And then this is the chief economist, Sam Khater. That's what he says. This is a weekly report. As you can see here, it's trending downwards, and that's exactly where we want to see. An average rate 6.89, similar to the rate I just showed earlier on the daily report. And I was reading that mortgage rates get sacked for loss. The Super Bowl week, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage decreased this week. Mortgage rates have been stable over the last month, and incoming data suggests that the economy remains on firm footing, even though rates are higher compared to last year. The last 2 weeks of the purchase application are modestly above what was seen a year ago, indicating some latent demand in the market. So we are seeing a lot of movement. Things has been really slow, but then it started to pick up again. So let me stop this and let me share back the original. Okay. And you can see the main presentation, Kelly, right?
When you switch back, no, it's back to your to you again, sweetie.
Okay.
Let
What do
me.
you see right now?
Okay, now I see it. Yep,
Okay,
where
great.
we haves, needs, and wants.
Yes. Why don't you take this over?
Yes. So everyone, the have, needs, and wants part is just where you can have a few minutes of time to express what you might need, what your niche is in this market, and reach out to everybody. And like, let's say you have a property for sale and you want to tell us about it, and we'll actually turn it over to you for a couple of minutes so that you can let us know about it. And then you need to put your information into the chat box so that people can contact you afterwards. So this is your time right now to, if anybody has anything, please, here in Zoom, you can press the hand to raise your hand if you want. And so I'm looking to see all of our participants. And does anybody have anything that they want to share right now? Any needs, wants, um, any commercial properties out there people
Hi,
are
my
working?
name is James Murphy.
Hey,
I,
James.
I, I just found the organization on the internet, so I haven't become a member yet, but I'm thinking about it. And I'm a realtor with Fathom Realty. As of a year ago, I changed full time into real estate, realtor and real estate investing. And I was thinking about joining this organization, one, to meet other investors, maybe to establish relationships with vendors and contractors and such. But that's essentially why I joined the call today, to just hear how the organization works.
Wonderful, James. Welcome. We're happy that you're here. And
Thank you.
as a matter of fact, Sarah and I both handle memberships.
Oh,
So
wow.
I have pasted in the chat uh, portion of our meeting. You can see
Yes.
my phone number, so you can text me afterwards, and I will get that form to you. And momentarily, we will be talking about membership as well. And if you've got anything to say right now to the group as far as if you have any needs or wants. If you're looking to partner up with somebody, rub elbows with this is your moment to network.
All
So
right. Yep. I would just say that, as I evaluate the group and such, I'll be looking to just build relationships and expand, relationships in the real estate sector after many years of corporate finance. But thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
wonderful. And you can collaborate with Sarah too, because she is our resident real estate agent. So you two can talk and compare notes and trade houses and do all that stuff that you do. I don't know.
We always need of houses. I have like several buyers that I'm working with right now, and we cannot find houses for. So,
Oh, so
yep.
that's Sarah's want and need.
Yes.
Yeah. So James, let's say if you have a big inventory, you two should get together on this.
Oh, definitely. I'll definitely reach out to her. Believe it or not, I have clients looking also. So just like Sarah said, I'm kind of in the same boat, but she seems like a great person to get to know. So I'll definitely reach out.
She is. By the way, Sarah has been with us. I did the math, Sarah. I think has it been 10 years?
Just under.
Just under 10
Just
years.
under.
Yeah. So she started out as a volunteer with us, and when we had our in person, and she's just fantastic. And a perfect example is today. She's taking over the meeting because Duncan had his tonsils taken out today. So she's invaluable to us, and we adore her and we love her and we
They
keep
are fantastic.
oh,
They like I didn't
Awesome.
do this because I'm special in any ways, but they are really, really fantastic. And anyone like,
yeah.
deal with Duncan and Kelly, they wouldn't leave. So they're really amazing. They're wonderful. They really care about the people. So if you are a member, like you are like a part of the family. And
Yes.
they always care that they help you in any way possible to see you grow and prosper and succeed. So, and that's the honest to God truth, really,
Thank you very much.
on personal level and professional level. So,
Happy to have you here, James.
all right, last call for haves, wants, and needs. Last call. Shall I move on to the next one?
Okay, I don't see any more hands
Okay.
raised. Okay, I guess you can,
Anything,
sir.
anything in the chat?
Oh, let's look. Yeah, let's look, read the chat.
Tell us
Um,
about your deal or service. If you want a partner in Boston, REIA, you can use your fractional app. That's from Duncan. Awesome.
oh yes.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. Yes, that's right. If you are a camera shy, please put what you need in the chat box here and let people know. I wonder, can you see the chat box when I open it?
Now
No.
I'm seeing it,
Oh, okay, but
but
it's
I'm
not
seeing it on mine because I
on your
already have
end.
it open.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. So yeah, so it's great. If you have a service, put it in the chat box. If you don't want to speak up like James, put it in the chat box. The only two important things that Duncan really, really wants you to do is to be specific in what you're looking for and put your contact information. This way people can find you easily.
Yes, and there's one more thing at the very end. Everybody
Yeah.
make sure that you copy and paste the chat because the minute the meeting closes, that information is gone forever. So it's a simple copy and paste. Everybody should know how to do it. I have a cheat sheet here, Control C, copy and paste, Control V, and you just put into your files, and that way you have everybody's information.
That is a benefit of being live to get the chat. Yes, 100%.
Yes,
So even though
yes.
every single meeting Duncan does record it and he sends us the replay to everyone, the chat is not part of it. So just it's
Mm.
very, very important and it's very a big benefit to be available because like Duncan said, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Mhm.
All right. So let me just minimize that.
I will admit
Okay, thank
everyone in the
you.
waiting room.
Yes, I think so. So let us help you make money. Join the Boston REIA tonight. Um,
I'll
just
put my number back in there for
yes.
everybody to see.
Slides are not moving, right? Okay. All right. Kelly, I'll give back to you the microphone. You can go over some of the benefits and how they are like really, really handy to the investors.
Okay, without reading the entire thing, I think everybody can look down that list and see, I mean, Office Depot, Arcana, Build, Sign, Call, Fire, all of these things are available. You can look on the Boston REIA website to go over those in depth. But if you have any questions about any of these, these help you, like 1-800-GOT-JUNK. I mean, all of these things are geared towards real estate investors, and we have it all in one place for you. And as a member, you get extra benefits and discounts by being a part of any of these. So if you have any questions about any particular portion of what we offer, just reach out to us. Especially Home Depot, you get 2% off. Sarah's going to be telling you what your benefits are there, so I won't go at length, but at any rate, we have all of these great uh, things to offer you all in one place where you wouldn't have to do this on your own downstairs in your basement trying to figure out what to do. We've already gathered it all up for you. So, oh, and it looks like our 5 minutes for no, Duncan said in 5 minutes. Okay, for Greg to get on. So
Mhm.
I will pass it back to Sarah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so yearly membership has not gone up. It's still the same, $320 for the year for if you're a single investor, $450 if you have a partner, business partner, or a spouse. This is Kelly's number. Make sure to snap a picture of it, or even text her right now will be even better. Say, this is so-and-so, please shoot me an email or something so I can sign up tonight. And after that, I'll take over. She's gonna send me your information, and then we're gonna set up Home Depot. I really can't wait to go over the Home Depot very quickly and very briefly to show you what are the benefits that Duncan and Kelly have negotiated for our members. So let me just quickly share my screen. This is the one. Can you see the Home Depot?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is exclusive benefits for our members. So if you go to Home Depot alone, like on your own, they will give you benefits, but you get more for being a member in Boston REIA. But the Home Depot has many like departments or umbrellas per se. Pro Extra is one of them, and that's what we have the deal. So our members, they receive 2% rebates biannually on all the purchases they make. For you to qualify for that rebate, you must spend $5,000, and that also has not increased in very long time. If you spend $5,000 in the 6 months period, you get a gift card. If it's under $1,000 or more, you get a check, and that's normally usually get mailed out to you within 60 days from the closing cycle. They have set periods, January 1st until June 30th, and then July 1st until the end of the year. So we just started a cycle here just like a month ago. So, make sure so that you can start this immediately tonight after you sign up with Kelly. Also, our members start at the gold tier, and that qualifies them to get 20% at the checkout on paint, and that has nothing to do with any rebate minimum spent. Basically, all you do is at the checkout, at the pin pad, you just enter your phone number, and then you get that 20% at the checkout. Now, Home Depot, this all I'm discussing here is a rewards program. This is not a credit card or anything. It's a rewards program. Think of it like CVS or Stop and Shop or any of that. The more you spend, the more discounts and rebates you get. So how Home Depot works is that they make you sign or register like a credit card or a payment method. Could be a checking account, a PayPal account, different things. And if you pay with that registered payment method, that's how you accumulate the 2%. So the 20% you get that at the checkout, the 2% you get that accumulated, and then you get it as a gift card or a check at the end of the 6 months. The 20% is applicable to paint, stains, and primer of a gallon or more. Doesn't apply to quartz or spray or any of that. Our members can get up to 20% of select Hampton Bay kitchen and bath cabinets if purchased 10 or more cabinets in a single transaction. How it works, you get 10% from National REIA, 10% from Home Depot. Both are stackable with any other store discounts going on at the time, so you're at least guaranteed 20%. Okay, something else that is really, really fantastic and all of our members take advantage of is the volume pricing program or bid room. Very, 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 very easy to achieve. All you need to do is to have a large item, like have a list of like a large item that will cost only $1,500 or more in a single transaction. Bring it to the pro desk, ask them to prepare a code. Takes few minutes, and then after that, have them send it to the bid room, and then it comes back with all the applied discounts, anywhere from 0 to 15%. And on top of that, if you pay with a registered card, you get the additional 2% accumulated after the 6 months. The only thing that I wouldn't send through the bedroom is the paint, because you get a better deal with the 20%. The maximum that you can get in the bedroom is a 15%. Those numbers, Duncan update me every 6 months. So, I'm expecting maybe end of February or something, I'll get more numbers because they close December 31st. Within 60 days, they give us these numbers. So in the last 6 months, those are real numbers. Home Depot paid out to chapter members over $500,000 and an average member almost $1,500. That's alone, like in one cycle, can buy you about like many years of memberships of Boston REIA. Even if you're a couple, like or a business partners on the 450, that will cover many years of Boston REIA. And let me tell you, this is on average. So we do have members that make more money with Home Depot. And in fact, I bumped into one of them by complete accident last year. It was a little over, just under a year. And Duncan got his permission that I would show you this. I reached out after he signed up. I didn't know he was already a member and he was just renewing. And I reached out and I said, okay, well, when are you available that we can do the Home Depot? And he's like, no, I signed up. You can say I actually already set it up a year ago when I first joined and I checked and it looks like it's still active. I actually just got a check for over 1,800 for my second 6 months of Pro Extra. Thanks. So David have been with us and, as you can see, is just an example of members making more than the average here of under $1,500. Again, if you have not taken Kelly's number, you have not texted her, I think this is your chance to do so. And
it's super fast, by the way. It's just a form. You just fill out the basic stuff and we'll get you on as fast as we can.
Yes. So now this is the part we all have been waiting for, is what are these four C's? Can just let me just share here very quick. Our guest speaker, Greg, foresees success formula, the exact system that the most successful entrepreneurs use to scale faster and achieve extraordinary results. Let me give you a quick, just minimize that very quickly. What do you see right now, Kelly, on my screen?
Right, yearly membership.
Okay. Okay, and you can
Speaker
still that.
Mm-hmm.
If I minimize, what do you see?
Still shows Speaker Greg. Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. Because I definitely want to tell you how fantastic he is. All of our speakers really are very, very special and very unique, and they teach you tons. They share their experience. Greg is one of the phenomenal speakers that we got. Greg is a high energy, passionate speaker, published author, success strategist, and mentor to entrepreneurs, and the founder and executive director of the Next Level Success Institute. He is renowned for guiding individuals to achieve next level success and surpass their goals sooner than they think possible. He has spoken on numerous stages across the country, gaining recognition through interviews on TV, radio, podcast, and has been featured on the cover of Think Realty magazine. With over 42 years of entrepreneurial experience, including 19 years with McDonald's Corporation, then running multiple successful businesses, Greg brings a wealth of knowledge to his audience. In addition, he has been involved in more than 1,500 real estate transactions, totaling over $250 million, sharing valuable insights that resonate with aspiring and established entrepreneurs alike. Greg's approach centers on the 4 C's square success formula, empowering entrepreneurs to break through barriers and achieve remarkable success. At the same time, he inspires and challenges audience to think differently to unlock their potential for extraordinary achievements in both business and life. When not guiding entrepreneurs, he enjoys traveling the world with his wife, Kim, or attending live sporting events, with a belief that life is short. Greg infuses humor and joy into everything he does, reminding audiences to savor every moment. I'll stop sharing and I'll let you take it away, Greg.
Right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Boston. And I'm assuming you're going to give me some control. Oh, so do I already have control so I can share my screen? Perfect.
You have the power.
Let me get this turned on and going. All right. Well, first of all, while I set this up, I want to wish my speedy recovery for Duncan. I've known Duncan for, I was trying to figure it out. I was sitting here thinking, I think for 17, 18 years now. And he was so tremendously helpful to me back in the 2010, 2000 area. I can't ever thank him enough or repay him enough for what he was able to do for me. So I have extremely high respect for your guys' leader. And this is only the second REIA I've spoken to, and I don't know if I'll speak to others, but I speak at other events. But I spoke to ASREA because I'm here local in Arizona, but because of Duncan, I'm also speaking at your REIA as well. So I just want to say how much I respect Duncan, and I really appreciate and respect what he does, and I can't thank him enough. So I wish him a speedy recovery, and I wish he could say something, but I know he can't right now. So with that being said, I want to dive right in because you guys don't want to hear me yet blabber about that. You want to hear about achieving success. So I always like to start right out of the gates as far as, and I have a question. Well, actually, can you even, are you seeing my others? There we go. So I got to make sure. I want to start right out of the gates with a question. This is just a question for you guys to ponder. We're not going to discuss this, but just for you to think of in your own head. My question is this: why are you here tonight? There's a lot of people that got invitations to be here, and they're not here, but you are. You got an invitation, and you took time to be here tonight. You could be spending time with your family. You could be watching TV. You could be doing 100 different other things, but you chose to be here tonight. So my question is, why? Why are you here tonight? Well, I believe that some of you are here tonight because you've already tasted some success. You've already achieved some success and you want more. You're looking for that extra edge, that extra push, that skill, that strategy, that whatever it's going to take so you can achieve next level success. You want more. You want more of the better things in life. And in fact, not only do you want more, you have a burning desire inside of you that you believe that you deserve it. You deserve to have more. You deserve to have a better relationship. You deserve to have better health. You deserve to have all the financial success you want, and you absolutely deserve financial freedom, not just for you, but for your family. And if what I just described, if that's why you're truly here tonight, then I have two promises I want to make to you. My first promise is this, is that I'm going to share with you tonight exactly the four things that the most exceptional, extraordinary, successful entrepreneurs do to achieve all of the results that they have. There are four things that they do. I'm going to share with you exactly what those four things are. And all you have to do is implement these four things into any area of your life. You can implement them into your health, into your relationship, into your business. It doesn't matter. But as long as you do these four things, you will achieve the same results that they achieve. My second promise to you is this, is that in the next hour, I promise you, I'm going to change the way you look and think about achieving success. I know that's a big, bold promise, but I've done this many, many times, and I promise you, I'm going to change the way you look and how you achieve success. However, I must warn you that in order for me to accomplish those two promises, some of what you hear tonight is going to challenge your way of thinking. It's going to go against some of the things that you've been doing for years, if not decades. You're going to get a little uncomfortable with some of the things I say. You're going to feel challenged. But here's the thing. The most successful individuals, they do things differently. They have to do things differently. Because if they do things the same as everybody else, they'd get the same results. What gives them the results is because they do things differently. So you need to be open-minded. So that's my question to you before we dive in. Will you be open-minded enough to listen to what I have to share with you tonight? Because if you are, then you're going to find this next hour very, very good to you and allow you the opportunity to be successful. If you don't want to be open-minded and you're just stuck with what you're doing now, then my suggestion to you is just turn it off now and go spend time with your family. This isn't for you. So I'm hoping you have open-minded so we can move forward with those that are very serious. If you go out into the entrepreneurial world and you were to survey 1,000 entrepreneurs, or you go talk to entrepreneurs that have already achieved some success, at least financial success, what you're going to find out is this is what they're going to tell you that you need to do in order to be successful. The first thing you have to do is you have to set big goals. We all know this, right? You have to set these big, sometimes big, hairy, audacious goals is what some people call these. You got to set goals that you don't even know how you're going to hit or how you're going to achieve them. But then you got to create a why behind that goal. Why do you want this goal? So you've all heard this before. This isn't nothing new. So you got to create a big goal and you got to set a why. But then what they tell you is that you got to make all these sacrifices. You're going to have to sacrifice time with your friends. You're going to have to sacrifice time with your family, your children. You're going to have to sacrifice time with your spouse. Because if you want to be successful in today's world, you got to be willing to make those sacrifices. And as you're making those sacrifices, things sometimes will not go smoothly. Sometimes things suck. And you're going to have to embrace that suck. And you're going to have to do whatever it takes to get through those suffering times. You are not allowed to ever quit. You got to push through it. They tell you all the time, the only way you are successful is that you embrace the suck and you push through it until you get to the success that you desire. And then when you finally get to that success, when you finally achieve some success, you're not allowed to be happy. You're not allowed to celebrate it. No, because you can't ever be satisfied. All across the country, they're teaching you can't ever be satisfied. You can't stay in the comfort zone, because if you stay in the comfort zone, then you will not grow and you can't be happy. This is what they teach constantly. This is what we've been taught as entrepreneurs. This is what's called the achievement loop, or what I like to call the A loop for short. And I did this myself. I mean, let's be honest. We all do this, don't we? Isn't this what's taught? Isn't this what we all do? And I'd be willing to bet that the majority of you on this call right now are doing the same thing because you've heard the same processes. But, and as I said, I was going through and doing the same exact thing. I went ahead and I set the big goals. When I was 17 years old and I started on my entrepreneurial journey, I set a big goal of becoming a millionaire. That was my goal when I was 17 years old. Why? Because I wanted to have this life of fairy tale. Because I believe that once you achieve and become a millionaire, that I would have the nice cars, I would have the nice houses, I would have the perfect wife, I'd have the perfect children, I'd have great health because I can afford and pay for all that kind of stuff, and I was going to live this nirvana life. So that was my goal and that was my why. And then I went into the sacrifice stage. And I began to sacrifice my friends, not hanging out with my friends. My friends wanted to go out and party, not me. I knew I had work to do. I had to get into the office. I had work to do. And then my wife, when I got married, I needed to start sacrificing time with my wife. I didn't want to, but here's what happened, is she would come to me. She has a very, very large family. And they like to get together for anything and everything. It doesn't matter. It could be a holiday. It could be just to get together this week. It could be game night. It could be fun night. It could be just sit and stare at each other night. It doesn't matter whatever it is. They just want to get together and do something. And I remember she'd come to me and she'd ask me, are you going to be able to join the family tonight for game night? And of course I'd sit there and say, honey, I got things to do. I'm growing a business. I'm trying to become a millionaire. I can't go to game night. So you go and have your game night. But I need to go to the office. I need to fire this person. I need to hire this person. I need to resolve this situation. And as I said that, you could just see the disappointment in her face. It was almost sad. Other times, she'd just be flat out angry. And she'd be so angry that she'd yell things such as like, why do you work so hard? What good is it if you can't enjoy it? Now I remember thinking inside my head, I wouldn't say it out loud, but I remember thinking inside my head is like, you silly, silly girl. You just don't understand. See, if you want to be successful, you got to be willing to do what others are not willing to do. I got to make these sacrifices. And besides, I'm doing this for us. This is for you and me, honey. You know, as soon as I achieve all the success, as soon as I become a millionaire, we can have game frickin' night any night you want. In fact, it's not just for us. It's for our family, because we could actually take our family on vacations and everything. So yes, I'm going to sacrifice this game night tonight because I'm doing it for us. And in the back of my head, I always told myself, you know what? She may not understand now. She'll understand later. She may not appreciate it now, but she's going to appreciate it later. You know, after I achieve all the success, after I become this millionaire and we have this lifestyle that I dream of, she'll appreciate me then. I'll be a freaking hero then. She'll love me more. And she will appreciate everything that I did and the sacrifice I made for us in order to achieve the success. And of course, every time I did that, was it affecting my relationship with my wife? You bet it was. Was it affecting the relationships I had with the rest of my family? You bet it was. And when entrepreneurs make these sacrifices without even knowing they're doing it, because I didn't realize I was doing this at the time, without even realizing you're doing it, basically it affects your relationships. And did you know that according to the National Marriage Project, that the entrepreneurs have the highest divorce rate of any category recorded? They have on average 5 to 10% higher percentage increase of divorce than any other category because we're taught to sacrifice. And then we move on. We go into, we got to embrace the suck. We got to work 6, 7 days a week around the clock to do whatever is necessary to be successful. And I remember I used to wear that like a badge of honor. It was like right here. It's like, you know what? No one is going to outsuck me. Go ahead, bring it on. I can take anything because I'm going to get through it. I'm going to push through this because I'm going to do what others are not willing to do because that's what I was told. I'm going to push through and I'm going to achieve the success. And of course, as you're going through that, and for anybody that's been an entrepreneur for any amount of time, you're going to understand exactly what I'm about to say. When you're an entrepreneur, you have ups and you have downs. You have peaks and you have valleys. And when you're climbing the peak, it feels great. You feel like you're on top of the world and you feel like Superman and you can conquer freaking anything. However, the minute you turn and you start going into that valley, you feel like the whole world is crashing down on you. Everything is coming at you 100 miles an hour. You have all these problems that you have to solve. And I remember when I would go through those valleys, I remember just that moment of weakness. I just have a minute of weakness and I'd ask myself, is this really worth it? Is maybe my wife is right? Is this really worth it? But then I'd snap to it right away because I was trained to do that because I got to embrace the suck. Nope, I got to keep going. I got to push through this because that's the only way I'm going to be successful. So yes, hell yes, this is worth it. I'm going to do it. And then I remember laying in bed at night. I'd go to lay down in bed, but I wouldn't be falling asleep. I'd be tossing and turning. I'd be sitting there thinking, it's like, what do I need to do tomorrow? How do I take care of this situation? What business do I need to grow? Do I need to start a new business? All these things would be thinking through my head, and it would affect my sleep patterns. At the same time, going through those valleys, I would often get to a point where I'd feel extreme loneliness. I'd go through periods where I was lonely, and the reason I'd get lonely is because no one understood me. I couldn't speak to my wife. She doesn't understand. I can't speak to my employees. I'm the boss. I'm supposed to have all the answers, right? They don't understand me. They don't own businesses. My friends and family, they don't own businesses. I feel like there's no one I could turn to talk with. And I feel so alone. But then again, you embrace the suck. You know what? This is just part of being an entrepreneur and you just deal with it and you get through it. So that's what I did. I just got through it. But here's the thing. Every time you embrace the suck and you push yourself through it and you don't quit and you go through that, you create stress and loneliness. And did you know that according to the National Sleep Foundation, that nearly 70%, that's 7 out of every 10 entrepreneurs have sleep problems, basically where they're laying in bed just like I was, tossing and turning on a regular basis. At the same time, according to the Bank of America Small Business Owner Report, 92% of all entrepreneurs feel stressed out at least once a week. 41% feel stressed out daily. And last but not least, about half, 50% of all entrepreneurs go through exactly what I went through, or they have frequent feelings of loneliness and isolation that they really have no one to turn to and to talk to. Now, after you embrace the suck, you got to continue. You push through and you do whatever it takes. You do whatever it takes. That means giving up everything in your life. I remember in my personal life, as I was going through this process, that I used to love to play sports and I used to have multiple hobbies, but slowly but surely, the business just kept sucking those in until I no longer had any hobbies. I no longer played any sports because what would happen is, for example, I used to love to golf. And what would happen is I'd go to golf and I'd be on the golf course and I'd be sitting there thinking about business. And then I get this guilt. It would actually feel guilty because why the hell am I here having fun? I can't be having fun right now. I have goals to meet. I have things to do. I have a business staff to run. I have situations that need to be resolved. I need to hire more staff. I need to fire this staff. All those things running through my mind until eventually I just squeezed golf out of my life. And you know what I did in exchange, in place of that? Is that I decided that, you know what? And I actually believed this at the time, is that I don't need hobbies because I freaking love what I do. I do in real estate. I do real estate just like most of you guys on this call. Was one of my main businesses. I had multiple businesses, but that was one of them. So, but in real estate, it was like, when people ask me, well, what do you do for fun? What do you do for hobbies? I do real estate. I'm buying real estate. I freaking love real estate. I don't need any other hobbies. I actually convinced myself that that was true. And it allowed me to, without guilt, to eliminate anything and everything out of my life. Now, when most entrepreneurs do this, they create anxiety and depression. And do you know that according to UC Berkeley study, the entrepreneurs are 2 times more likely to be depressed over anybody else, and the 3 times more likely to suffer from substance abuse? Doesn't sound very promising. And then even you make it through all that, then you achieve your goal. Yes, I achieved the goal, but you're not allowed to be satisfied. You got to keep moving on. Now remember, I told you my goal when I was 17 years old, my first goal that I ever set was to become a millionaire. It took me 23 years of going around and around this wheel, 23 years. But in 23 years, I achieved that goal. I achieved that goal back in 2006. And I remember when I achieved that goal, I thought my life was going to change. But you know what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing changed. For 23 years, I made all those sacrifices, made all those changes so I could create this nirvana success, this ultimate lifestyle that I was going to be able to live with my wife and family. Nothing. So then I had to go back to the drawing board and I think about it. Wow. Okay, so it's not a million. Maybe I underestimated this. Maybe I made a mistake. You know what? It's 2 million. I can't be a millionaire. I got to be a multi-millionaire. So I got to start this wheel all over again. And then, of course, I had to go back to my wife and tell my wife, honey, you know that nirvana life I've been talking about for 23 years and all those things that we've done and all those hours I worked and all the sacrifices I made. Honey, I'm sorry. I underestimated it. It's not 1 million. I got to make 2 million. I got to be a multi-millionaire. But I promise you, I got this. I got it under control. I'm doing it for us. And just allow me the opportunity. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to become a multi-millionaire because I already have a plan on how to do this. You know how I'm going to do this? Honey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up 3 more businesses. See, because I owned a real estate office at the time and I had a real estate company investing in real estate. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open up a title company. I'm going to open up a lending company. I'm going to open up a handyman company. Because if I open up more businesses, open up 3 more businesses, honey, we're going to be multi-millionaires. Trust me on this. I'm doing it for us. We're going to be successful. And around we go. And unfortunately, what happens is, luckily, this did not happen to me. But for many, many people, when entrepreneurs are never allowed to be happy, they're never allowed to enjoy the successes they have, and they're just forced to move on. Do you know that they have a 50% more? It's basically double. You have the 50% likely more increase of committing suicide. That's scary to think about that. So here's the question I pose. As we go round and round, and I did this for 27 years. 27 years I went around this loop, around and round and round. And the reason we go around this loop is because we're looking for that success. We're looking for that nirvana success that we have envisioned in our mind. Same thing I had. But you know what? You guess what happened in 27 years? I was a millionaire in 23 years, 27 years. 4 years later, bankrupt, lost everything in the Great Recession. I had to start over from nothing. We went from a 4,000 square foot house, just my wife and I, into a begging for money from my parents so we can get security deposit on a tiny little rental home and move into there. We were scrapping money to buy food. And I spent 27 years for this. But here's the thing. My story is not the exception. Unfortunately, it's more the norm. Let me share some statistics with you that might be a little scary. Here's the first one. Do you know that according to the Kauffman Foundation, that only 10 to 15% of all entrepreneurs ever achieve the financial independence where they can retire comfortably? 10 to 15%. That's the good news. Let me share the not so good news that goes along with that. Not so good news is there's multiple studies. This was the best one. This had the highest numbers. The other studies show anywhere from 4 to 12%. So on average, entrepreneurs, they get into this, they go round and round this loop, and they only have a 4 to 15% chance of ever even achieving financial success. 4 to 15%. Now, for the purposes of the rest of tonight and going forward, I'm just going to say 10% because that's right in the middle between 4 and 15, and it's really simple and easy to think about that. So from this point forward, I'm going to say the 10% and the 90%. So we're going to separate that. So the 10% are the extremely successful, and the 90% are the ones that are not so successful. And to go along with these numbers, let me share one more number with you. Do you know that according to Guidant Financial, that only 20%, that's 1 out of every 5, entrepreneurs earn less than $25,000 per year? That's below poverty level. 20% of all entrepreneurs don't even reach poverty level. And do you know that only 35%, and by the way, these are 2023 numbers, do you know that only 35% of all entrepreneurs even make their business nets? This is net profit, makes over $100,000 a year, 35%. So for anyone on here, if you're making more than $100,000 in your business, congratulations, you're already in the top 35%. But these numbers are dismal. But let's be honest. If you knew, going back, if you knew before you became an entrepreneur that you had a great chance of getting a divorce because it has the highest divorce rate of any group, you have a 50% more likely chance to have a mental health issue. You're twice as likely to suffer from depression. You're 3 times more likely to suffer from substance abuse. You're twice as likely to suffer and have suicidal thoughts. And you only have a 10% chance of success. How many of you would be super excited to sign up for that? How many of you would actually go through it and actually do it? But we don't know what we don't know, so we get in this blindly, and we just go for it. But these are the statistics, and numbers don't lie. So once I had to file for bankruptcy and had to start over from scratch, I had to go through and ask myself the most important question I've ever asked in my life. And tonight, I'm going to ask you, each and every single one of you, to ask the same exact question I asked myself back in 2011 when I came out of that bankruptcy. And here's the question I'm going to ask you that you're going to have the opportunity to answer tonight. Do you want a life of achievements or do you want a life of success? Those are 2 very different things. Let me dive into that a little bit so you have a better opportunity to answer that question. What is a life of achievements? I'm not going to read that, but basically life of achievements is what we just discussed. You're going to go round and round that wheel, and you will have some success. You will absolutely have some success. You may have some financial success. However, you're going to make a lot of other sacrifices, probably not enjoy the process a whole lot, and never be happy or feel fulfilled. That's how most entrepreneurs go through. But you will have some success. That's called a life of achievements. And to put that into graph form, this is what it looks like. So if you look down here at the bottom, if you look at my cursor, this is your life. This is the years of life that you have in your life. Up here, this is all the success that you desire. So up here at the top of this bar would be the ultimate success that you're looking for, that nirvana dream that you have for you and your family. And what you see is when you're living a life of achievements, you do achieve some success. And of course, you go through the peaks and valleys, you're going up, peaks and valleys. And what happens is eventually you hit your maximum peak. And then once you hit your maximum peak, you're going to come down off that maximum peak, and then you're going to go up to hit that peak. And then you can continue to bounce off that peak until eventually you run out of years. Running out of years could be your life could end, or running out of years be you're just tired and exhausted of doing this, so you jump off the wheel of being an entrepreneurship and you just retire and get the hell out, or go get a job, or whatever it is. But that signals the end. So if you're looking at this chart, do they ever achieve the ultimate success they desired? No. They do achieve some success, but they peak. And I'm going to share with you a little bit later exactly why they peak and bounce off the peak. It's going to be so easy and so obvious for you to see why, and you're going to understand this. So if you're in a situation where you keep bouncing off a peak, I work with entrepreneurs all the time, and they can build a business to $1 million and then they come back down. They build it to $1 million, they come back down. They build it to $1 million. They can't ever get past that. You're going to know exactly here in just a few minutes why that is. This is a life of success. A life of success is a fulfilling journey where you achieve extraordinary next level success in business, finances, in every area of life. You enjoy the process as you go through it. You have fun. You live a life you truly love while accomplishing all of your dreams and goals, and you're living with no regrets. I know that sounds too good to be true, but this is what a life of success looks like. So do they have peaks and valleys? They may have things where they have small peaks and valleys, but generally speaking, they're going to climb success. They may be stabilized for a little bit, have more success, but eventually, are they going to achieve all of their ultimate dreams? Yes, they will. And they're going to do it before they run out of years. That is the life of success. And as Barbara Carkland would say, success isn't just about making money. It's about being fulfilled in every aspect of your life. So if you were like me and decided that, you know what, I'm not going to live the life of achievements anymore. I'm not going around that wheel anymore. I want to have success. And I want to enjoy my life. And I want to have success in every area of my life. And I want it right now. So if I want that, then what I need to do is I need to go figure out what these 10% are doing. Because these 10% know something that I don't. So what is it that they're doing? So you got to go and hunt down who are the 10%. And we've all seen the movie The Wizard of Oz, right? You can see the picture there. We've all seen The Wizard of Oz, because I will tell you this. In our world of entrepreneurship, there's a lot of wizards out there. Because from the outside looking in, and I could give you some very, very popular names that you guys would all know the names. They're going around the country and they're speaking. And because they have all this financial success or real estate success or health success, it doesn't matter. But it's in one area. And if you were to pull back that curtain and take a look behind that curtain, their life is a freaking disaster. They're on their second and third marriage, and their current marriage is on the rocks. They have no relationships with their kids. Their health is a freaking disaster. But hey, they're successful to the world because they're on stages and they're talking and they have that financial success, and that's all that we can focus on. So you got to weed out who are these 10%. Let me give you a true real life example. Now, this is Pete is not his real name, and obviously that's not his real picture because I'm going to hide his name to protect him and his family. So Pete was a very popular real estate agent in this country. He was recognized across the entire country. He won a lot of awards for doing the most number of deals, for having the most number of sales. And everyone in the entire industry that knew him wanted to be him. They wanted his success because he looked so successful. However, behind the curtain, behind the scene, his life was a mess. His wife and him were back and forth talking about divorce for years. He had no relationship with his kids. His kids barely knew him because he worked so many freaking hours. His health was a disaster. He was way overweight. If he walked up the stairs, he was exhausted by the time he got to the top of the stairs. And he constantly talked for a number of years about how he could not continue to do this and he needed help. Eventually, finally, when he had enough, he reached out for help. But unfortunately for him, it was a little too late because literally 3 days after he reached out for help, he died from a heart attack. It was a very sad situation. So I ask you, was it worth it? How is his business doing today? There is no business. How about his wife? Think his wife appreciated all that success that they were having? What about his kids? The kids that never had that relationship with their dad. You think they appreciate all that success he had? You know, I don't know. That's a question for you to ask. But just like Damon John, real success is about creating a life that incorporates financial abundance and personal fulfillment. Make your goal to be wealthy in all aspects of your life simultaneously. You can have financially, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually all at the same time. That is a life of success. So now we know we got to go look for the 10%. We know that just because they look like they're 10% does not mean they are the 10%. You got to rule all those people out. We only want to go study those individuals that have success in every area of their life. They have the finances, yes. They have financial freedom, yes. But they have a tremendous marriage. They have great health. They have great kids. They have awesome relationships. You know what? They freaking love their life and they have fun. And they're not working their ass off 90 hours a week trying to grow the business. Those are the individuals that we want to go look and find. So, and then exactly what it is they do. So once you find these individuals, you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. At least I did. You got to ask yourself, well, is it because they're just lucky? Of course they can't just be that lucky. That many people can't luck themselves into having the perfect lives, right? They can't do that. So luck isn't a factor. Then you got to ask yourself, is it because they're smarter than me? Is it because they're smarter than us? No. I can tell you right now, they are not smarter than anyone on this phone or on this call right now. It's not because they're smarter. So then you got to ask yourself, is it because they work harder? Do they work harder than me? Absolutely not. In fact, I'm willing to bet that the majority of people that are listening to me right now on this call work harder than the most successful people do. So it's not because they're working harder. So what is it that they know? What do they do in order to make them so successful? Well, there's 4 things, and I'm going to share with exactly what those 4 things are on the next slide. We're going to begin that. However, before I turn the slide, what I want to do is I want to share an analogy with you between the difference between the 10% and the 90% to make this very clear before we get into what these 4 things are. Now, as an entrepreneur, the first thing that we have to do is we have to create a goal. We know that, and a why. So let's pretend that, well, I don't have to pretend, I am an entrepreneur. Now, right now, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where I reside. So I'm in Phoenix right now as I speak to you. Let's pretend for a minute that I set my goal. My goal is I want to go to New York City. That's my goal. My why is, well, because if I can make it in New York City, I can make it anywhere, just like the song, right? So I want to go to New York City, and that's my why. So what I'm going to do is like, okay, I need to get to New York City, so I'm going to start this path. So I'm going to grab my backpack and I'm going to start walking to New York City. Now, as I start walking, am I going to have to create some sacrifice? Am I going to have to make some sacrifices? You bet I am. Because is my family and friends going to come along with this walk on me? Hell no. If I were to ask my wife, hey, how'd you like to walk to New York City with me? What do you think she's going to say? Something that I can't repeat on this call right now. That's what I can tell you. She's not going on that walk for me. So I'm going to have to sacrifice some time away from my wife. My family and friends are coming along for this ride, so I'm going to have to sacrifice them as well as I go for this walk. As I go for this walk and I head to New York City, am I going to have to embrace the suck? Oh, hell yeah, I am, because it's going to freaking suck. Because I'm probably going to get blisters on my feet. I'm probably going to get extremely sore. As I'm walking through Arizona, probably a heat stroke. As I'm walking through the East Coast, I'm probably going to freeze to death. So I'm going to be going through hell. So I'm going to have to learn how to embrace this suck. And then I'm going to have to do whatever it takes in order to get there and achieve there. And what is my chances of success? Are they extremely high? I'd probably say no. I'd probably say I have an extremely low chance of success. That represents the 90%. Now let's skip over here to the right-hand side. Now, same goals. I want to get from Phoenix to New York City. And the reason why is because if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. However, in order for me to get to New York City, my thought process as the 10% is, well, I could buy a plane ticket, or I could even, if I really wanted to, go get a pilot's license. If I get a pilot's license, then I can fly to New York City, and then I can go anywhere I want from that point forward. So if we go through this process, am I going to have to make any sacrifices? Probably not, because if I ask my wife, do you want to go on a private jet to fly to New York City? Do you think she's going to turn that down? Hell no. She's going to be on that thing. I can take my entire family and friends. They're coming along on the ride with me. Is it going to suck? Well, I don't know. Probably not too much, right? Maybe you have to go to pilot school, pass a few tests. I don't know. Is that really going to suck that much? Probably not. Am I going to have to do whatever it takes? Yeah, I guess I have to take the test until it passes. But what is my chances of success of going through all that? Extremely high, right? Almost 100% that I'm going to be able to achieve that goal. That's the 10%. Now, the reason I went through that analogy is because I know and I hope that each and every single one of you are asking the same exact question in your mind right now. And that question is this: why didn't the 10%? Why didn't that entrepreneur on the left? Why didn't they just buy the airline ticket themselves? And here's my answer. And I want you to think about this answer for just a second, because I'm going to pause and let it sink in. The reason they didn't buy the airline ticket and go the easier route is because they didn't know that was an option. Now, all of us on this call, we know that's an option because it's very obvious to us. Well, guess what? When it comes to success, the most successful individuals, the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, they see the plane. They know exactly what the options are. They know exactly how to get there. The rest of us, the 90%, we don't know what we don't know. So we're over here hiking our ass to New York City in order to achieve the same success that these over here, 10%, are doing by getting on a damn plane. And the only difference is the 10%, excuse me, the 90% over here didn't know what they didn't know. Now, I went through that analogy because these 4 things, it's the same exact thing. My guess is that all almost all, if not all, of the 90% would do these 4 things if they just knew them. They would buy the airplane ticket if they just knew them. So without further ado, let me introduce you to what these 4 things are. Now, they don't know it by the name. Like if you go ask the most successful people, they don't know by this name. So I created a name to make it easy to remember. However, they do these 4 things. Where the name comes from, let me tell you where the name comes from. The name comes from because there's 4 core elements. So there's 4 core elements that you have to do. Each of the 4 core elements has 2 words that start with the letter C. So that's why it's called 4C squared, so it's easy to remember. So as long as you remember 4C squared, you'll be able to remember these 4 elements. And before I reveal the first one, I also need you to understand how this works. Think of yourself as when you go to Las Vegas and you go to a slot machine and play the slot machine, your goal is to achieve a jackpot. That's what your goal is, right? You want to hit the jackpot. And the only way you hit a jackpot is when you hit all 7s. When you hit all 7s, then you win. However, can you win without hitting all the 7s? Yes, you have small wins. Absolutely can. If I get like 2 7s or 3 7s and a combination of other things, I can win. I can have small wins. This is why some entrepreneurs have some success because they're going to have 1 or 2 of these elements. I already know that most of you are going to have at least 1 of these already that you are really good at. It's going to be the other 2 to 3 that you're going to have to figure out that you need to work on and implement and put into the processes, into your life, into your business, into your health, or whatever the case may be. But just understand that the real success, that nirvana, that ultimate next level success, excuse me, that success that we all want, that's the jackpot. And you only hit the jackpot if you have all 4. You cannot have just 3 of them. You must have all 4. So just remember that. We're going to come back and revisit this in just a minute. So let's dive in. Let me introduce you to the first core element. The first core element is you must create congruence. You must create congruence. What does that mean? That means that your inner desires and who you are inside and what you want has to be in congruence with your business, which has to be in congruence with your goals, which has to be in congruence with your daily actions. Why is that so important? Because that is where your drive comes from. That is where the fulfillment comes from. That's when you achieve something, you feel good about achieving it. You celebrate that. But more importantly is that's where the drive comes from. See, the 90%, they have to create these goals and they like to do what I like to call fake whys. They have to create a why in order to achieve that goal. But when it's congruent, when it's within you, you don't need the damn why because it's naturally, it comes from within. Let me give you 2 examples that you've all experienced in your life when you went through, when you had congruence that you're going to be able to relate to. The first one is, do you remember when you were a child, or if you have children, or if you've seen children, when they want an ice cream cone, they don't need to tell you why they want the ice cream cone, right? They just freaking want the ice cream cone. There's no explanation. Just give me the damn ice cream cone, right? So they just want the ice cream cone. Now, when they want that, they have that drive. They're going to ask for the ice cream cone 100 freaking times. And one of 2 things is going to happen. Either 1, you're going to cave in as a parent, or 2, you're going to threaten discipline. And even after that, they're going to find another way to try to ask for it to circumvent the discipline you're going to give them. Why? Because they have that drive in them. It doesn't matter. They're going to stop. They're going to be relentless. So that's as a child. But you know what? All of you have also done this in your adult life. Every single one of you had congruence. And this is when you had it. Have you ever fell in love? When you fell in love, you wanted to be with this individual 24/7. You couldn't stop thinking about them. You woke up thinking about them. You fell asleep thinking about them. You tried to create every moment you could with them. You didn't need to sit down and create a why. You didn't need to sit down and say, you know what, I really want to be with this person. Well, because they're sexy and they're fun and you did not need a list. You didn't have to read. You didn't have to get in front of a mirror and say affirmation. You didn't have to do anything. You woke up driven because it was from within. That's congruence. The most successful individuals understand how to create that congruence. You can create congruence in your business. You create congruence with your finances. You create congruence with your health. You create congruence with your relationships, your friendships, anything you want. But that drive comes from within, where you have that, where you're relentless, like with this ice cream, where you don't take no for an answer. You don't need to read a why. It comes from within when you have congruence. So that's element number 1. And the most successful individuals know the process in order how to do this. So right now, I'm just introducing them to you. I'm going to share with you here in just shortly on how to actually implement and do these things. But right now, I just want you to know what these 4 things are. Number 1 is congruence, that drive, where you just naturally happens. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is you must cultivate your capacity. You must cultivate your capacity. So what does that mean? Take this little picture that you see on here on the screen, this little tyke right here. Now he's playing t-ball. When he's playing t-ball, let's say that his goal is that he wants to be a Major League Baseball player. That's his dream. That's his nirvana. That's where he wants. So in order for him to do that, along the way, he's going to have to go from t-ball to baseball. Then he's going to have to go from, and that's probably going to be in elementary school. Then he's going to go from elementary school to junior high to high school to college, college to the minor leagues to the major leagues. So every step of the way. So here's the question. At each step, is he going to have to continue to develop and grow new skills? You bet he is. Because if he doesn't continue to grow and develop skills, what happens? He hits a ceiling. He hits a ceiling. Because if he only develops the skills for high school baseball, is he ever going to go above high school baseball? No, he will not. He has to continue to develop those skills. Well, guess what? Entrepreneurs are no different. I told you earlier that when entrepreneurs continue to hit a ceiling and bounce off, ceiling and bounce off, ceiling and bounce off, and their solution is like, I got to try a different business. I got to change my business. I got to try open up new businesses. I got to do something. It's because they're missing this. Your business, your health, your finances, your friendships, nothing will outgrow you. The most successful understand that the key to growing all these areas is growing yourself. And I don't mean just business skills. I'm not talking about those skills that you guys naturally think of. I'm talking about self-mastery skills. Self-mastery skills are things like confidence, things like courage, things like self-awareness. There's 14 of them. And you got to be really good at those because you know the difference between a minor league baseball player and a major league baseball player? It's not because they're better hitters. It's not because they're better catchers. It's because of their mindset. It's because they cultivated their capacity and their mindset. When a major leaguer goes up there to bat and they struck out 17 times in a row, they're not thinking about striking out. What they're thinking about, oh, wow, I just struck out 17 times in a row. I'm due. I'm going to hit a freaking home run right now. Whereas the minor leaguer, same skill level, but when they're going up there, they're thinking about, oh my God, 17 strikeouts in a row. I can't strike out again. I can't strike out again. If I strike out again, I won't ever have a chance to get to major leagues. Do you see the difference in the thought process? See, unfortunately, the 90%, they're really challenged with this because you can talk until you're blue in the face, but the 90% don't want to take the time to develop themselves most of the time. The 10% understand this is a priority. They will make it a priority to develop themselves because they will pull their business up with them. They'll pull their marriage up with them. They'll pull their health up with them when they cultivate their capacity. So that's element number 2. Element number 3 is you must commit to consistency. Your success or lack thereof is nothing more than a sum of what you do consistently, period. If you work out consistently, you're in better health. You eat consistently healthy, you got better health. You consistently tell your spouse you love them and take care of them and court them, you got a better relationship. Whatever you do consistently, you continually to focus on growing your business, you're going to grow your business. Whatever it is that you consistently do is what you're going to get successful. Well, the 10% understand that what you want to do by committing to consistency is to create routines, habits, and systems where things are done automatically. Let me use this analogy. How many of you brushed your teeth this morning? Hopefully all of you did, right? Now, when you brushed your teeth this morning, did you have it on a to-do list? Did you have to think about it? Did you have to schedule time for it? Did you at one point think about, you know what? I'm super busy today. I just don't have time to brush my teeth. I'll do that later. Did that happen? No, you just brushed your teeth. It was automatic. In fact, I'm willing to bet that for some of you, when I asked you, did you brush your teeth this morning? You actually had to ask yourself, did I brush? I mean, you know you brush your teeth because you do it every morning, but you don't even remember doing it because you are so on automatic pilot that you don't even think about it. You just do it. And what the most successful people in the world understand is that, do you know that up to 70% of your day is already on autopilot, but most of us don't even realize it? Do you know, I can prove that to you right now. Do you know that this morning when you woke up out of bed, you woke up on the same side of the bed that you always sleep on? When you woke up this morning, you did the same exact routine that you go through every single morning. Do you know that when you got dressed in the same order that you always get dressed? Like, for example, when you put on your jeans, I don't know if you put on your right leg or your left leg first, but you do it exactly the same way every single time. You have your entire routine done. If you drive to the office, you're going to take the same path to that office every single day. You're going to stop at the same coffee shops. You're going to stop at the same gas stations. When you get to the office, you're going to go through the same routines when you get to the office. When you come home, you're going to go through the same routines. Maybe you take your rings off, you put it in a bowl. I don't know what your routine is, but you freaking have one, and you go through it every single day. When you go to watch TV in your living room, I bet you sit on the same couch or the same chair, probably in the same spot on the same couch every time you go to watch TV. You go to eat at your kitchen table. Do you sit at the same chair every single time you go to eat? See, the majority of your day is already on routines. What the most successful understand and do is that they're able to take this process and they're able to implement it into other areas of their life. Just think about how successful you could be if you could create health just like brushing your teeth. What if you could create where your relationships are growing and you're not even thinking about it because you're just brushing your teeth? What if you could grow your business and do some of those things, not even thinking about it because you're brushing your teeth? This is what the most successful understand, and that is element number 3. So let's move on to element number 4. Element number 4 is champion collaboration. All of you understand the logo that's on the screen right now. And I love to do this when I'm in front of large crowds. I love to ask this. And the questions I always ask them is this, so how many of you, by a show of hands, think that McDonald's has the best food in fast food? They have the absolute best tasting food in fast food. Do you know how many times I've done this? I've never had a single person ever raise their hand, not one. So if somebody raised their hand, and I can't see all of you, but somebody raised their hand or whatever, please let me know, because you would be the first.
I think they have the best fries. I think
Okay.
they might have the best fries.
Okay. So, but overall, does McDonald's have the absolute best food out of all the fast food restaurants? I can't find anybody that would agree to that. My next question I ask is, okay, so out of all the fast food restaurants in the world, how many of you believe, by show of hands, McDonald's has the absolute best service of all the fast food restaurants out there in the world? Now, occasionally I will get some hands on this one. I may get like 2-3% hands on this one, but it's such a small, tiny minority. And then I like to go on to my last and final question about McDonald's. And this is the question. How many of you understand and know that McDonald's is the most successful fast food restaurant in the world? 99% will raise their hand on that one. So you have to stop and ponder and think about this, right? If their food sucks and their service sucks, how in the hell are they the most successful fast food restaurant in the world? Now, usually when I say that, a lot of people say, well, because they have systems. And you're right, they do need to have systems. That was element number 3. You got to have all 4 elements, though, to be next level success. Just because they have systems is not what made them successful. What made them successful, yes, they had systems, but what made them successful is they understood element number 4, which is champion collaboration. Ray Kroc himself never operated his own McDonald's restaurant. You know that, right? He only franchised it. So he was able to grow that business quickly through franchising. And what most people also don't know is that he actually went and spoke with foreign governments, foreign countries, in order to get McDonald's expanded into those other countries. See, Ray Kroc understood collaboration. And when you have collaboration, it doesn't matter what area of life it is or your business, you can explode and blow up a business, or explode and grow up your business, or your relationships, or your health. This is the gas that's poured onto a fire, but it only works if you have the first 3 elements in place. As Sarah Blakely would say, and for those of you who don't know who Sarah Blakely is, she's the one that created Spanx. She said, you can have it all. You just can't do it all by yourself. And here's the thing. You got to have all 4 of these 4 core elements, all 4. Now, I already know that most of you are really good at one of these, because this is usually what happens with entrepreneurs. Sometimes you could be a systems guy, an organized guy, and you're going to be really good at number 3, commit to consistency. And usually with those, and that was me personally, individually, I was one of those individuals. I was always a systems guy. I could systemize anything and organize it, but my business was always struggling to grow because I didn't have number 4. So how many of you know a business that you don't understand why they aren't busier? Because it's a really good business. They do really good customer service. They may have really good food or whatever, but they just never seem to be busy. It's because they're missing element number 4. So some of you are probably in that situation. Some of you are in the exact opposite situation, and there's more entrepreneurs that are this way. Like I have a friend, I won't mention his name in case he ever watches this or anything, but he is really good at number 4. He can blow anything up, but unfortunately he doesn't have the other 3 core elements. And what does that look like? That looks like to the outside world that he's very successful because he's in real estate. He does deals in multiple states. He's in like 7 or 8 different states. He does hundreds of real estate deals, but behind the scenes, his life is a freaking mess. His customer service sucks. His customers are always pissed off at him 24/7. And every time you talk to him, he's miserable. Oh, it's been a tough week. It's been a hard week. I need to take some time off because he doesn't have the other 3. So in my experience, what happens is that you're usually probably good at number 3 or you're good at number 4 and you're missing the other 3. That's typically what happens with entrepreneurs. But just understand, you gotta have all 4, and you gotta have all 4 in every area of your life. You may have all 4, you can implement all 4 in a business and not have this in your relationships. This must apply to everything in your life. And when you do, it's magical. So for example, Nels and Kim, they are chiropractors. They own a chiropractic business. They were working 6 to 7 days a week, 65 plus hours a week. They were basically taking care of their patients and destroying themselves. And finally, they got sick and tired of doing it, and they started incorporating more or less these 4 core elements. And this is what happened. They shut down their chiropractic business. They opened up a new chiropractic business that was much closer to the house. And they designed and created a business so they only worked 4 days a week, 25 hours. And do you know that using these concepts, that within 12 months, they were able to generate the same profit that they were in that massive business where they were working 6 to 7 days a week. Keep in mind, they're only working 4 days a week, 25 hours a week. We move on. 24 months later, they're making 30% more profit than they were in their busy office, still only working 4 days a week, 25 hours a week. Now, they took all that extra time and they spent it on themselves. Nels, he loves to golf. He's a scratch golfer now. Kim, she loves horses. She went and bought horses. She owns horses, and she is now a professionally ranked cowboy mounted shooter here in the United States. And they freaking love their life, and they're making more money than they ever made before. That is the power. Now, your story may be different. You may not want those results. You may still want to work 60, 70 hours a week. It doesn't matter. What matters is you get to design and create the life that you desire. And anyone can do this. It doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your experience level, it doesn't matter your race, nothing matters. Anybody can do this, as long as you implement the 4 core elements into every area of your life. Now, I told you the downside that we had to file for bankruptcy and start over from scratch. That bankruptcy was discharged on April 12th of 2011. I will never forget that date for the rest of my life because that was one of the lowest points of my life. Now, what I want to share with you very quickly is that just by learning these 4, I'm not some guru, I'm not some person that invented this stuff. I didn't create this stuff. This has nothing to do with me. I just simply went and saw what the most successful people were doing and copied what they were doing, which is these 4 core elements. By implementing these 4 core elements, within less than 3 years, you can see that check over there on the left-hand side. That was our first over $100,000 check in real estate. Prior to that, I never received a check for more than like $28,000. We were receiving $100,000 checks almost on a regular basis within 3 years by blowing up the business. The second picture you see, in less than 9 years, we were able to achieve financial freedom. We went from bankruptcy to financial freedom in less than 9 years. And the reason it took that long is because in 2016, I had someone steal about $1.6 million from us. So without that $1.6 million theft, we would have achieved it much sooner. I told you my marriage was a mess during that bankruptcy because I was doing all that sacrificing. Well, in 2018, I reproposed to her and we renewed our vows. And also in 2011, at the bottom, when I decided that I was not giving up any more of my hobbies, things I wanted to enjoy, we decided we wanted to travel the world. And what you see over there on the right-hand side, that's us in Antarctica. We had set a goal to travel through all 7 continents and do a road trip through all 50 states As we build up this business and accomplish all this other stuff, we accomplish that goal. And that's us in Antarctica. That's the power of these 4 steps. But this is the one I really want to share with you right here. This is my dad. That's my dad sitting in his chair in his living room. Let me give you a quick background on my childhood, just 60 seconds. My dad, when he was about 5 years old, his mom was shot and killed. So he did not grow up with a mom. And my dad, excuse me, his dad was the one that was accused of killing his mom. He went to court. He was found innocent, but many people to this day believe that it was his dad that killed his mom. So he didn't grow up with his mom, and his dad was a sheriff, and that's why many people believe he got away with it. And because of that, he grew up in a very disciplined house. So all that means is, and from there, he went to the Air Force. So he spent years in the Air Force and served with our country. And then along came I. I was the firstborn. I was the first child. My entire adulthood until I was 18 years old, when I moved out of the house on my 18th birthday, I never heard the words, I love you. I never heard a word, good job. I'm proud of you. None of that. None of that existed because, quite frankly, I had a good childhood, don't get me wrong, but our household, I was basically a cadet. And it was all about discipline and you do this or these are the consequences. So I learned about that, but I never got any support. So I never developed a relationship really with my parents at all. I was kind of independent my entire childhood. Moved out 18. From that point forward, never really spoke to my parents except for obligatory holiday messages here and there, you know, Merry Christmas, and that's about it for years. Fast forward, file for bankruptcy, start over. I want to have a life of success. Part of that process I went through is I want to recreate and regenerate or originally create a relationship with my parents. So that was part of the process. So I implemented these 4 steps into creating that relationship. Now, fast forward to last December 23. December 23. I'm visiting my dad. I'm there for 4 days in December. We're on our 4th day. It's a Saturday morning. I'm scheduled to leave there at 10 a.m. because I have to get back to Phoenix to do some things. And it's a 3-hour drive from their house. My mom knocks on the door and wakes me up at 6 a.m. in the morning. My mom, she's kind of in a panic and she informs me, there's something wrong with your dad. I need your help. So I jump out of bed and I go running into this living room right there that you see on the screen. I go there and my dad is not breathing. I go to feel a pulse. I can't get a pulse. I quickly throw him on the ground and I start performing CPR on my dad right there. I yell to my mom, Mom, you need to call 911. But I know they live in the middle of nowhere in the forest. And the paramedics are going to take a minimum of 25 minutes to get there, minimum. So I'm performing CPR on my dad, trying to save my dad's life. And as I'm performing CPR on my dad, and I'm performing here, there comes a time when I realize that my dad is gone. Now, I don't start performing CPR. I don't stop because I don't want to, just in case. But I knew in my mind that my dad had passed. My dad, as I was performing CPR on my dad. And then I started to cry. And I'm going to try not to get emotional, but do the best I can. And I started to cry. But here's the thing. I didn't cry because I was sad. I cried because I had this overwhelming, I'm having goosebumps just thinking about it right now. I had this overwhelming sense of gratitude. I was doing nothing other than thank God. Thank God I went through that bankruptcy. Thank God I took the time to learn what the most successful people do. Thank God that I actually implemented that. Thank God that I took the time to create a relationship with my parents and with my dad. And all these things are going through my mind. And the last thing, one of the things that went through my mind as I went through this is like, thank God I did that because I have no regrets. I have absolutely 0 regrets. Now, I share that story with you because of this. Because at some point, whether you're the one getting CPR or you're the one giving CPR or something in that situation, this is going to happen in your life at some point. And I want you to feel and go through exactly what I went, where you have that overwhelming sense of gratitude and that you lived a life of no regrets. Too many people have regrets when they go through situations like this. And when you have the opportunity to live a life of success, you're not putting life off. You're enjoying it right now. You have everything that you want right now. And I want that for you. And if that's what you want for you, then let me share with you exactly how to implement these 4 core elements into your life. I'm going to give you a personal invitation to your next level success, into your life of success, into your life of no regrets. This is what I like to call the next level success mastery. This is everything you need to achieve extraordinary success. This is the edge. You now know about the plane. Now I'm going to show you how to fly the freaking plane, right? It's one thing to know the elements, but now you got to know how to implement them. This is the unfair advantage. When we first started, I asked you, why are you here? And some of you, I believe you were here because you wanted that edge. You wanted the unfair advantage. Whatever it takes to get to the next level, this is it. All you need to do is implement these 4 core elements. And I want to help you do that into your life. I want you to transform your life. See, when you go through this process, I wish I could tell you in the next 5 minutes how to do this, but it's not that simple because it's not about educating. It's about transforming. You have to go through processes. There are systems and processes that you have to go through to actually implement this into your life. Things that I've spent years working on. So this is a transformation to go from a life of achievements to a life of success. And this is what it looks like. So the first thing is we put everybody through a 6-week accelerator. And what this does is this allows you to create the foundation for 6 weeks. So over those 6 weeks, we go over those 4 core elements. Again, this isn't about me teaching like most of tonight was. This is about, some of it will be teaching, but a lot of it is you're actually going to be doing things into your life, implementing things into your life. It's not about taking notes and deciding what you want to do. And if you're looking for education, this isn't for you. This is only for those that are willing and want to go to the next level of success and willing to do the work. So the first 2 weeks, we're going to create congruence. First week, we're going to start, and the second week, we're going to continue and build that foundation of congruence. That's that drive. So you don't need whys. You're going to just wake up and you're going to naturally know. You're going to have such extreme clarity of exactly what you need to do, what you want to do, and you're going to freaking enjoy doing it. And then in week 3, we're going to go through cultivate your capacity. This isn't about me telling you these are the skills you need to learn. No, you're going to go through a process, an individual process, even though it's on a group call. You're going to go through an individual process where you are going to determine the skills that you need. And based on the skills that you need, then the process in order to improve those skills. So this is individualized to you because everybody is different. Everybody has different skills, and you're going to need to work on your individual skills, not what someone else needs to work on. Then we move into week number 4. You're going to commit to consistency. This is where we're going to take what you want to accomplish and we're going to create systems, routines, and we're going to automate it like you're brushing your teeth. You're going to go through that process where you're just doing it and you don't even freaking realize you're doing it. Now, it doesn't happen overnight, but over a period of a couple of weeks, you're going to realize you're doing things that you found extremely difficult to do previously that now they're super easy to do because you don't even think about it. You're going to implement that process. Then in week 5, we're going to champion collaboration. Again, this is the gasoline. When you have the first 3 steps in there and you pour number 4 in there, I have personally seen businesses literally double or triple in less than 90 days. When they have these 4 core elements in place and they pour the gasoline on there, you can blow up your business so fast. There's a reason why I was able to do 1,500 real estate transactions. And it isn't because I'm some guru or I'm smart. It's because I just copied what other people do. That's all I did. And then finally, last but not least, week 6, I'm going to give you a 7-step process. It's a tool. And you just follow this tool and you go through these 7 steps. And this is how you actually incorporate these 4 elements. So the first 5 weeks, you're creating that base, that foundation. In week 6, you're actually implementing them into your health. You're implementing them into your relationship. You're implementing them into your whatever area you want to implement them. It's up to you. You create and design it, but you have the power to do that by implementing those. That's 6 weeks. That's going to start in 2 weeks from tonight. I'm on vacation next week. I'm on a cruise. So I'm not doing anything next week but having some fun. We love to travel, by the way, in case you didn't know that. So we're constantly traveling. So in 2 weeks, we'll start in 2 weeks. And that's going to be on Thursday. So it'll be the same as today. It's going to be every Thursday. I think it's like at 2 o'clock Eastern or 3 o'clock Eastern. Don't quote me, but for those of you that are interested, you'll get the times, but it's on Thursdays during the middle of the day. Now, upon those 6 weeks, we don't want to just, here you go, good luck. What I want to do is make sure that you actually implement these 4 steps, these 4 elements, and you get the success that you desire. Because on top of that, you're going to get a 1-year all access pass into the Institute. It's called the Next Level Success Institute. And this is our mission inside the Institute. We empower entrepreneurs with proven skills, strategies, and systems to break through and achieve next level success sooner than they think. This is what's inside the Institute. Every first Tuesday of the month, I go live for up to 90 minutes, just like this. I'll go live for 90 minutes. And every single month, it's going to be a different topic, a different strategy. Every month is going to be something different. So for example, this is February. We just had it. The first Tuesday was 2 days ago on Tuesday, and we spent 90 minutes going through relationships. And we went through about 14 different strategies and how to more or less drastically improve the relationship overnight. So that was this month's topic. Coming up topics, we have topics such as how to systemize your business, where I'll spend up to 90 minutes, where I'm going to break down exactly how to take whatever business you're in. It doesn't matter. You can be selling furniture, you can be in real estate, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go through and I'll break down exactly how to systemize your business. So by the time you get off that call, you're going to know what to do and how to do it. To go along with those mastery labs, we have challenges. This is the implementation process of that lab. And then on the third Tuesday of every single month, I go live again for up to 60 minutes. This is your chance to jump on with me and everybody else to get your questions answered or listen to other people's questions. And for those of you that like to submit questions anonymously, you'll be given an email address where you can just submit questions to the email. I'll answer it through email because I know sometimes people like to do things anonymously. We also what's called the weekly strategy labs. Every single Wednesday, I release a new strategy. The strategy could be on communication. It could be, basically they're all skills. They're all skills or frameworks or things that you can incorporate into your business, into your life, into your health. It doesn't matter, but these come out every single Wednesday. They're up to 20 minutes long. Most of them are like in the 10 to 14 minute range. So you can quickly jump on, go through there, learn a new framework and implement it into your life. We also have additional bonus labs throughout the year where I will interview other successful entrepreneurs so you can hear specifically from them what has given them their success. You also have access into the Knowledge Vault. What is the Knowledge Vault? Every single thing that we do is recorded. So all those labs, all those live labs, all those live breakthrough labs, they're all recorded. Once they're recorded, they are uploaded into the vault and you have access to that. So you can have access to that as soon as tonight. You could get in there and start watching videos that we did over the last couple of months. You also have community access with like-minded individuals, like-minded entrepreneurs. This is obviously entirely up to you. It doesn't matter, but it's a good way to try to meet other entrepreneurs that also have the desire to achieve next level success, do business together. It's entirely up to you if you want to participate in that or not. We also have exclusive giveaways. I'm in the process of finishing up a book. It will be released in the next, I'm going to say 3 to 4 months. And when that book is released, everybody inside the Institute will get a free copy of it. We'll have some optional networking, and that's your access to me. There's only 2 ways anybody has access to me. It's either through the community or it's through private coaching. That's the only way anybody has access to me directly, right? This is what's going to happen in the next 12 months. This, again, I promise you, this is what's going to happen. I've done this too many times with too many entrepreneurs, so I know what's going to happen in the next 12 months. You will build a successful business that serves you. Now, you may not want the same business that Kim and Nels wanted, where you only work 25 hours a week, but that's not the point. The point is you're going to build a business that actually serves you instead of you serving the business. So you got to understand who's in control, and it shouldn't be your business. So we're going to flip that around and show you how your business should be working for you, not the other way around. You're going to make tangible progress toward financial freedom. Do you know that there's one thing that's so simple and easy to do that the most successful entrepreneurs do to help them achieve financial freedom? It's so simple and so stupid. You're going to be shocked when you learn what this is. But this one tiny little thing can make all the difference in the world because you need to you need to understand that you can't always just chase financial success. You need to be chasing financial freedom. And there is a difference. And unfortunately, the 90% usually doesn't understand that difference. The 10% understand it, and they're driven by the financial freedom, not by the financial success. The financial success just comes with it. You will achieve improved health, I promise you, if you want. You don't have to, but if you want better health, the health you've been trying, and know that it's not through some stupid diets or magic pills or whatever the hell else they're selling these days. This is actually the health that you desire. And we're going to show you how to maintain, how the most successful do it. Again, this isn't about me. This isn't, I learned how to do this. This is what the most successful do. And I'm just going to share it with you. So you're the one that's going to be doing this. You get to decide what you want to do or not do. But I'm just telling you what's possible if you actually go through and implement this. You will experience a deeper, more passionate connection with your spouse. I don't care wherever your relationship is today, it will be better 12 months from now. 100% if you want it to be. You will wake up and energized and excited because you're going to have congruence. You're going to be waking up and you're going to feel your healthiest, the strongest self 12 months from now. And you're going to make decisions with unshakable confidence and clarity because you're going to know exactly what you need to do in order to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And I promise you, anyone can do this. Doesn't matter your experience level, doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your race, nothing matters as long as you're willing to put in the time and effort. Now, I'm going to be absolutely completely blunt with you right now because I am not looking to get anybody and everybody into this institute. That is not why I'm here tonight. In fact, I don't want everybody because I know most people are not willing to put in the time and the effort. And I'm not doing this just to put some people in there. I'm doing this because I actually want to change people's lives. I don't need to do this. I want to do this because it's congruent and I freaking love doing this, in case you can't tell. This is my life right now. So I gave up real estate. Actually, I still do some investing, but I used to flip a lot. I quit all of that just to do this because this is freaking fun to me. And I want to change lives. So let me answer the question as far as what is a time commitment? So that way you can understand and make a judgment for yourself if this is something you're interested in. The time commitment is this. When you're going through the 6-week accelerator, you must be able to commit a minimum of 2 to 4 hours a week. And if you're not willing to commit 2 to 4 hours a week, this is not for you. Have somebody else help you out. But if you can commit 2 to 4 hours a week, then you will be successful going through the accelerator. After you complete the accelerator, then I would highly recommend that you need a minimum of 4 to 5 hours a month, which equates to about 1 to 1.5 hours a week. That's your time commitment. If you're not willing to make that time commitment, this is not for you. So please do not proceed. But if you're willing to make that time commitment and you're serious about getting to next level success, then I want to share with you exactly how to do that. This is the investment, because I know you're all asking, so well, how much does this cost? So this is what people have paid me in order to go through this process with. People have paid me $3,500, either individually or as a couple, to go through this process with me one-on-one, right? Take them through the 6-week process and get them up to par. The all access pass into the Institute, you can jump online right now and check it out. It's $14.97 per year to get inside that Institute. But tonight, because of my relationship, which is a total value of $4,997, but because of my relationship with Duncan, and there's a couple other reasons which I'll share with you in a minute, for tonight only, and that's only why you're on this, so you will not see this anywhere else. It's not offered anywhere else. You cannot find this online. You can't find this anywhere. I promise you that. But for tonight and tonight only, it's $997 to get all of that. That will get you taken care of for the next year. So if that's something you're interested in, you want to jump on, you can scan the QR code right there on your screen, or you can just go to the link that's down below at the bottom of the screen. And I think they're going to post it in the chat as well, so you can go through there. But let me explain to you why I'm making this so affordable, because I'm not going to be doing this again. And the reason I'm making this so affordable, there's actually 2 reasons. One is, even though I've been using these for probably about 12 years now, and I've been coaching and helping and mentoring other entrepreneurs for a couple of years, all of that has been one-on-one or small groups. I'm just now taking it online. So the Institute itself just went live in December. So it's only been live since December, I think 5th is when it went live. So I'm trying to get and create some momentum in there. And at the same time, that 6-week process that I go through, this is probably the last time I'm going to be going through that process in a group setting like this. So I'm in the process of recording that, and it's going to go online, and they'll just simply go through it online from that point forward, unless they hire me individually as a one-on-one, and that price is going to go up to $5,000 a minimum in order to work with me one-on-one to go through that process, because it takes a lot of time and effort on my behalf to do that. So, but now you're going to get me for the next 6 weeks and a year Institute for $997. And by the way, the second reason that I failed to tell you is that because when I record this and go online, I'm looking for more testimonials. So my goal, my desire is that you guys are going to get extreme, awesome results in those 6 weeks. And then I'm going to ask you for a testimonial. It's not mandatory. You don't have to. but I'm going to ask very, very nicely that you give me a testimonial. So that way, when this goes online, and when it goes online, the online version, by the way, is going to be $14.97. So even the online version is going to be more expensive than what you're paying tonight. So the online version will be $14.97. But when it goes online, I want those testimonials. So I'm hoping that several of you will be testimonials for that 6-week accelerator that I can then market for the online. The other thing I want to throw in, because I know that sometimes this comes up, and this is only the second time I've done this, and probably the last time I'll do this. I did this for REIA as well, but so I'm going to do it for you guys as well. Is that I'm going to give each and every single one of you that complete the 6-week accelerator. Now, if you don't complete it, you're not going to have access to this. So, because I only want to work with people that actually do the freaking work. In case you can't notice, I'm a bottom line person. You either do it or you don't, or don't waste my time, right? So my time is valuable. So, but for those of you that complete the 6-week accelerator, I'm going to go ahead and throw in a 1-hour success strategy session. People pay me $500 an hour for these sessions. So I'm going to throw that in there. So upon the 6 weeks, you have 1 hour one-on-one with me on a Zoom session where you can ask me any questions. Most of the time, what happens is they've just completed week 6. When I did this with REIA anyway, they just completed week 6 and they wanted to help me implement the 7 steps into an area of their life. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. It's your hour. We can spend it however you desire, but that would be a 1 hour session. You'll get a link. You'll get access and a link to my calendar upon completion of the 6 weeks. Now, I know you guys are in real estate, so I want to throw in a couple of other things. This has nothing to do with the Institute or nothing we talked about tonight, but I know that you guys are in real estate, and for 4 or 5 years, I used to teach and help entrepreneurs invest in real estate, teach real estate, and I know one of the things they're always trying to do is raise private money. Well, I raised millions and millions of dollars. So this is a 1-hour recording, and it's called How to Quickly and Easily Raise Private Money. And what it does, it goes through step by step by step exactly how to raise private money. I've sold this and sold a lot of these for $995. This alone is worth the $997 if you're looking to raise private money. So I'm going to throw that in there, and you'll actually get everything's automated, so I believe it would come tomorrow. So if it's something that you sign up for tonight, it would come tomorrow. I think it's 24 hours later that gets emailed to you. You'd have access to this. And the second video I'm going to throw in there, again, just simply real estate related, because I know most of the people on here are from real estate because it's the Boston REIA. So it's why and how to invest in other markets. Now, I shared with you, we achieved financial success in less than 9 years. Most of that was because I finally got over that stupidity that they teach that you need to invest in the market that you live in. Some of the worst advice you can ever listen to. So if I would have listened to that advice, I probably still wouldn't be financial free. But I achieved financial freedom because I understood I needed to invest in other markets. So I go through the process of exactly why and how to invest in other markets, how to determine the market, how to what to do when you get into that market, how you create a team in that market. So I go through, again, this is about a 1-hour training. People have paid $395 for this training in the past, and I'm basically just throwing in there. I don't sell these anymore. They're not even online anymore. Nobody has access to these anymore. I did these like 4 years ago. So, but I'm going to throw these in here tonight just to help you guys with the Boston REIA. So when you add all that together, it basically comes to $6,827. And I want your spouse involved. I can't encourage your spouse. Your spouse is free. I want your spouse to be a part of this. In fact, what I found is that your spouse is probably going to enjoy this more than you because they're going to get their spouse back. I can't tell you the number of comments and compliments I've gotten from the spouse saying what a difference I've made in their husband or their wife's life and therefore theirs. And I actually get more compliments from them than I actually do the entrepreneur that's going through the process. But the spouse is going through the process as well. I want your spouse to go through as well. So the total is $997. Again, that's tonight only while you're on here. You can go through there. And just a couple more things, and then I'll open up to some Q&A if you have Q&A involved. Here's what Eddie Wilson, for those of you who don't know who Eddie Wilson is, he is the CEO of Collective Influence, and if you're familiar with the Aspire Tour, that's going across the country for the last couple of years, it's the #1 entrepreneur tour in the world, and they work with thousands and thousands, literally thousands of entrepreneurs, and this is what Eddie Wilson had to say about me and this institute. Oops, helps if I click the button.
Hey everyone, Eddie Wilson here, And I'm going to give a huge shout out and a big recommendation to my good friend, Greg Slaughter. Greg is an amazing individual, an amazing human being, but he also understands systems and processes at a level that I've never seen before. As a long-term executive for McDonald's and other great companies, Greg takes systems and processes to a whole nother level. But what I love about Greg is that he helps you with systems and processes in your own personal life. A lot of times when you cannot get to the end goal or end desire that you want, it's because you don't have the right systems and processes in your life. You have desires, you have dreams, you have aspirations, but you don't have the clear steps and the pathways to get there. Greg has a simple program that I think will help radically change who you are and how you accomplish the dreams and aspirations you have in your life. So I can't recommend him enough as a friend, as a great human being, but also someone that can help you accomplish your dreams.
And this is what Jeremy had to say. I've been working with Jeremy for a couple of years. I've known Greg for years, and I'm grateful he's been a mentor to me. His Next Level Success Institute brings all his years of experience studying what the most successful entrepreneurs do into one place. Anyone can now copy those skills, strategies, and systems to live the best life now while still achieving financial freedom and all the financial success they desire. Greg has already made a huge impact on my success, and I would encourage any entrepreneur that wants a life of success to jump on this opportunity. And for those of you that are still on the fence and you know you want it, you know, and you're willing to put forth the work. If you're not willing to put forth the work, then please don't waste my time and your time. But if you're willing to put forth the effort and you want it, and you're one of those I was speaking to at the beginning of this, where you want to get to the next level, and you just don't know if this is the avenue, I want to give you a 30-day conditional warranty. What is the condition? The condition is that you do the freaking work. So everything is automated and systemized because that's who I am. So I can see what you've seen, what you do on the background. So as long as you put in the work, if you decide you get in there at the Institute, you go through the first 3 weeks of the accelerator, you go through the Institute and you look at it and you say, you know what, this isn't what I thought it was, then as long as you went through and did all that, you just send me an email or whatever, ask for your money back, no questions asked, as long as you do the work. Now, if you don't do the work, you're not getting your money back. So, but I think that's pretty fair. At least I hope you guys think that's fair. So if not, then this isn't for you, and I wish you the best of luck. So with that being said, I want to make sure that you understand that you can make the next 12 months your most successful year you've ever had. Just copy what the most successful do. And with that, you just scan the QR code, go to the link whenever you're ready, and I'll open up to questions. If anybody has any questions, I'll take them on. And I'll be here until we finish up or they kick me off or whatever, however this works now.
We won't be kicking you off, Greg, that's for sure.
Okay. Let me stop sharing my, well, actually, no, I'll leave it up for now. So does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask? I can't see any hands or anything, so you guys may have to help me out with this.
Yeah, earlier we had, I don't know if he's still on, Sam Placid, I think.
So what did Sam want to know? Is Sam still on?
Yeah, he was talking with Duncan in the chat. Duncan, do you still see Sam?
Sam has gone.
Sam has gone, yeah.
Do we know this question so I can at least answer it for everybody else?
Yes, I will say, Jill was just saying, thank you for sharing your story. The fact that you personalized it like that, you know, it makes all the difference.
Well, thank you.
I am scanning the chat. Duncan wants me to read the chat that he had. So
Duncan,
Duncan,
when I was filing for bankruptcy in 2011, I got a little story about Duncan. So if he wants to share, he was so wonderful to me. You don't understand. When I was at my probably the second lowest point of my life, and I was feeling lonely, didn't know what to do, didn't know where to go, didn't have anywhere to start. Duncan was there. I reached out to him and just at that point I knew him for a year and a half or 2 years or whatever, and I just reached out and he did something that was so kind because at that point I didn't trust anyone. I didn't even trust my own wife. I won't go into the details why, but I didn't trust anyone, literally not a single soul. And one simple little thing of that a gesture that Duncan did literally changed my entire outlook. And I know I've told Duncan this many times. I've texted him this, and I can't thank him enough for what he did when I was at that low point to pull me to just give me hope. I just needed hope that there's some decent human being out there. And he gave me access into one of his programs. And I don't know if I really needed the program or not, but it was just the fact that he allowed me to do that because I couldn't afford it. I had no money, and it's just someone was actually willing to help me out and listen to my situation, help out. So I cannot thank Duncan enough for what you did. So thanks again, Duncan. I know you can't say anything, but again, I just want to say thank you so much for what you did back in 2011. You have no idea what a difference it made at that point in time.
That was a good year for us. Yeah. It looks like we've got one more message. Let me And he said, and we went out to Mexican dinner.
We did.
I don't think I was with you guys on that one. Where was that? Where was that?
Actually, we've gone out a couple times because we went out.
Yeah.
When he came into Phoenix one time, we went out
Okay,
to a
Phoenix.
Chinese. Well, he came to Spoke at the REIA here. And we went out to dinner afterwards. We went right around the corner from there. We went to like this Chinese restaurant, and then another time we went to a Mexican restaurant. So yeah, we've gone out several times.
Yeah, he said, oh yes, we went to Chinese too.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet he'd rather have Chinese right now than pickles.
I bet he'd rather have his voice.
Yes.
Hey, Greg or Kelly, just read the entire chat I had with Sam because he did ask some questions and feedback that's also important for Greg, but it's important to know people on the call. So just
Okay.
read from my chat.
Okay. I think I'm almost, I just want to make sure. He said, okay, so at first he was asking tied to real estate every day. He said, maybe I'm looking for a mentorship or entry level start to the real estate market. Duncan, would you like me to read what you said as well?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And ironically, you said, of course, there is a cost investment in yourself that creates some pain to get off your bum. And he said, felt that this is geared towards him scaling a business in the growth stage, supposed to people starting in the real estate space. And you said, speak the question through the question when through the questions come. That is interesting feedback, and I'm sure Greg will respond. And then Sam said, I've only been here since it started, though. So he's referring to when he logged in. And Duncan said, Greg did have a lot of development of houses prior. His BK in 2011, so turned to a different model and implemented a new way. So he has a vast array of experience. That said, if this is not congruent to you, no worries. We have lots of beginner investors in our group, which we do. And then Duncan said, I understand your point and it's good feedback. This is his second time speaking to the RIAs, which you wouldn't know that, by the way, Greg. Yeah, you excellent.
Oh, thank you.
You're quite at home doing it.
Thanks, I appreciate that. So just to elaborate on
I
that.
think it's, I'm sorry, Greg.
Well, I was going to say, just to
Here's the
elaborate
sort of
that.
statement, though, that I felt really sad for, is he says, I'm a minority.
Oh,
And
he did say that.
didn't have money to spend. So,
Well, why would that matter?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't
And
understand.
then, make it affordable to people who thought, that were minorities. So I kind of thought that's sad, but it
That
doesn't
is,
matter who you are.
I work with plenty of minorities, so it's like it doesn't matter. Anybody can do this. So, but to
Right.
elaborate on the real estate, because it seems like Sam was asking about real estate, is that just to be clear, I have done
Yeah.
over 1,500 real estate transactions. I was doing real estate prior to the bankruptcy. Prior to the bankruptcy, I was just trying to focus on. I was doing a lot of builder closeouts. I was going in and buying builder closeouts and turning around and seller financing them. And that's one of the reasons why when the economy turned and we had the Great Recession, I had a lot of properties that were negative cash flowing thousands and thousands of dollars, and I had to let them all go and file for bankruptcy and everything. So the second time around after the bankruptcy, I focused a lot more on how I was generating income through flips. So I was doing a lot of flips in Phoenix, but then I was taking the profits and I was investing it in small, tiny rental homes in other parts of the country, specifically in Indiana. I bought a couple hundred properties in Indiana for rental properties, and I was buying them at the tax sales and refurbish them, turn them into rental properties. And I did some in there. I did some in St. Louis, Missouri. I did some in Nevada. So I've done a lot of real estate throughout. And then just recently, about 2 years ago, I had a hedge fund come and offer me cash for all my properties in Indiana. I turned them down. 3 months later, another hedge fund came and approached me and asked me if I'd sell my properties. I said, I won't for cash, but I will on a note. So I literally seller financed all my properties in a note. So I still get all the cash flow, but I just have cash flow. I don't manage them anymore. I don't do anything anymore. And so now today, in the last 2 years, I've done no real estate for the last 2 years, other than I do some private lending for some investors that I know. So I do some private money lending, but I'm more mostly on the investor side. I'm not actively involved in real estate anymore because I don't need to, quite frankly. So, as much as I kidded myself how much I loved real estate, I love what it gives me. It gives me freedom and then the cash flow, but I didn't really enjoy working with contractors every day or whatever. I systemized the hell of it, and I would have like 19 flips going on at the same time, so I can do it all, but it's not something I have to do anymore. I don't need the money. I have the cash flow now. So I'm basically an investor now that just invests in cash flow. So I hope that kind of elaborated what my real
Awesome.
estate
Yeah,
experience.
Greg. I mean, when you started that model, you impressed me. And the fact that you kept posting it and posting it and posting it every day, all these new houses for social proofing, I'm like, what the hell? And you became very desired person that a lot of people wanted to speak to you. So, guys, you're getting a lot of wisdom and knowledge in this. So, and if you're looking for mentoring, and you get to Greg and give him a testimonial. You have a warranty. You he gets systemized to his success. It's really a no-brainer, right? And plus, it's a tax write-off. So Greg would be my go-to guy. Starting over again. Uh, even if you're not starting over again, and just want to get your passion back for doing something or make your business easier. Uh, you gotta, invest in yourself. It's not that much really in this scheme of things. So, and it's really no risk to this offer at all. Thank you, Greg. Sorry, my voice.
Thanks.
Thank you.
No worries. And honestly, it goes back to, I mean, I don't want this to come across the wrong way or anything, so I'm going to apologize in advance if it does. But it comes back to element number two. You got to cultivate your capacity. And if that means that the most successful, they invest in themselves, they know they need to grow. And if you're not willing to make the commitment to grow, then this isn't for you. I mean, let's just be honest. It's not, if you're satisfied with where you're at and you just want to be in the life of achievements and achieve the success that you have and go up and down that roller coaster, then so be it. That's great. You can do that. But if you're serious about getting to the next level, you want that next level success, then you're going to have to invest in yourself. I'm not going to do this for free because you won't put in the work. You got to put some investment in there so you'll do the work. What my biggest complaint is when I did this with REIA as well, people came to me and said I wasn't charging enough. That was actually a big complaint I got. And I considered raising the price just for this one, so I didn't hear that. But that's because I'm trying to grow momentum in the Institute because it is only 60 days old. and I'm trying to record this and get the testimonials. So this is probably the last time I do it at this price. But if they're not willing to invest, then that's on them.
Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate the time, the deal making, and it's always a good even refresher for me after all these years. Um, and I'm glad we share our joy of travel together. It's
We
always
do.
interesting to see, where you are and where I am and compare notes. Definitely Antarctica is on my list now. So you beat me.
Well, there's a lot of places you've been to I haven't, so I've been watching you sail around the world. Holy crap.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So yeah, I love to compare notes and see that you're traveling, and Kim's great, good support for you, and she's there for you. So yeah, say hi to Kim for me.
Will do. Thanks, Duncan.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. If there's no more questions, this is the chance to speak up, be bold, be brave. This is it. Got another thanks there very much. And guys, I will have a replay of this with the link. So if you are still contemplating it, watch out for the email with the replay. And I really endorse Greg. You can't go wrong. Put it on your credit card. That's what they're there for. So he does accept credit cards, even though he doesn't accept cash from hedge funds. So
I didn't want the cash. I didn't want all those taxes. I just want the
yeah, I
cash
get it.
flow.
I get it. Makes perfect sense. All right, guys. Well, have a good evening. Thanks very much. And if you want to copy and paste the chat, now's the time to do it. Or post something in there for your needs or wants. I'll leave it in for 60 more seconds, and then we're okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Greg, thanks so much. You were excellent.
Thank you. Thanks,
Uh,
Kelly.
Thanks everyone for coming on.